Good morning. It's great to be back for another semester, and in a few days we'll start seeing students filling the malls again, and I think that's all going to give us a great boost for a great start to a brand new year. I want to thank you all for attending today, and of course a very happy new year to all of you. I would also like to welcome today my husband Paul, who's here in the audience. Paul, would you? There, yeah. Thanks for coming. It's been our tradition at the January Convocation for your president to give you an update on the state of the university, and so I shall do that this morning. As I said at the Convocation just a year ago, I think it's very fitting to have joined the campus celebration of our faculty achievements with this update. Today, we honor the best of our faculty, and it is our faculty who are our best hope for creating and inspiring excellence in all that we do at NMSU. In August, at the inaugural ceremony, I laid out 7 goals for university excellence through partnership. Our faculty are our first and most important partners in that enterprise. And as we know, in the last few years, we have been challenged sorely to well support these, our most valued partners. And that's a theme I will come back to as I close my remarks today. But despite the budgetary challenges, we continue to achieve, and we can be very proud of our accomplishments over the past year, even though our state resources have in fact continued to dwindle. As you came in today, some of those accomplishments were cycling on the screen on stage, and I want to name for you this morning just a few. For the first time, NMSU is now offering both master's and PhD programs in aerospace, an area where we are gaining international recognition. Just a few months ago, NMSU was designated as the FAA's lead institution for a Center of Excellence for Commercial Space Transportation. The center addresses space launch operations and traffic management, launch vehicle systems, payloads, technologies, and operations, commercial human spaceflight, and space commerce. A $2.4 million grant from the National Institutes of Health will prepare undergraduates for careers in neuroscience. Faculty from New Mexico State University and the University of Colorado, Denver are joining in forwarding this program. NMSU tripled its pecan research acreage after receiving 1,000 additional trees thanks to a generous donation from Linwood Nursery in California. A new American Indian Student Center opened in October. That center is going to assist more than 600 American Indian students in Las Cruces to make the cultural and social transition between life in their tribal communities and life at the college. NMSU's student engineers Concrete Canoe ranked first in the Rocky Mountain region and 11th in a national competition sponsored by the American Society of Civil Engineers in 2010. 46 researchers who generated funding of over $1 million during the 2008-2009 fiscal year were honored for their work. NMSU researchers brought in $154 million in contracts and grants for the fiscal year 2008-09, and research awards have topped $198 million in 2009 and 10. 2 emeritus NMSU professors were invited to lecture at the Library of Congress on their groundbreaking book, The Secret War in El Paso. They were sponsored by the Hispanic Foundation of the Library of Congress. And finally, though not a faculty achievement, it's one for which we're mighty proud, the NMSU men's basketball team won the 2010 WAC tournament, their second WAC tournament title, and given the Fresno State win on Saturday, it looks like they're on that path for 2011. We can be proud, and we should be proud, of all of these stellar accomplishments. While the accomplishments of individuals and departments illustrate well how NMSU achieves its mission as a land-grant university, a research university with complementary community colleges who provide important access to students across the state, we must also demonstrate to our state that we have a plan to meet those obligations and are making steady progress toward that plan's goals. NMSU's Living the Vision is our current plan, and it outlines broad goals and metrics for progress that are now part of our yearly planning process. That process asks our deans and their departments to submit annual updates about their progress in achieving the Living the Vision goals. In August, at the inaugural celebration, I outlined 7 strategies for success that complement the broad goals of the Living the Vision plan and advance a few new objectives that are critical for our success in the 21st century, especially for our success as a research university. These new areas include expanding our international reach and building a culture of pride and achievement, goals that define high-quality research institutions. I'm committed to honoring our past commitments as we define a new path that will make us truly competitive with the best state universities in our nation. Therefore, I am announcing today that I've asked Executive Vice President and Provost Wendy Wilkins to work with our faculty and deans to merge the 7 strategies for success with our Living the Vision plan in a renewed effort that we will call Building the Vision, a phrase that both encompasses our past goals and recognizes that in today's competitive environment, we need to be ever responsive to external demands for relevant programs and cutting-edge research. To begin this task, we have mapped our Living the Vision goals against the 7 steps I outlined in August. Dr. Wilkins will work with our deans and with our faculty to examine this fit and gather input on ways that we can expand our system of metrics to more accurately measure our progress, a process that will make it easier for us to set university priorities while meeting increasing demands from our state and from our federal governments for measurable evidence of our progress. She will also ask our deans to update their plans to align with our 7 strategies and to specify how our colleges are acting to implement them. Also, in the next few weeks, I will share with you information that demonstrates how our Building the Vision goals and their strategies are aligned with national recommendations from our leading professional organization, the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities, or APLU, for ensuring the competitive excellence of our state research universities. Today, I want to spend the remaining time talking with you about ways that our university is advancing the 7 steps to success that I outlined at the inaugural, and share information about some new initiatives to help us build this vision of excellence through partnership together. We've always been proud of our commitment to diversity. At the inaugural, I cited research that provides a pragmatic support for that goal. Diverse groups are better at solving problems, a primary skill that we hope to advance through university education. Our goal now is to strengthen our commitment to diversity of faculty, staff, and students, anchoring our path to excellence in an unwavering commitment to access and success. We've been recognized nationally for our success in rewarding degrees to minority students, and our enrollment of minority students increased yet again this year. But we need to do better, and we have some substantive efforts underway. This semester, NMSU has launched a new program to help increase inclusion, diversity, equity, and access, called the IDEA Grants, with funds made available from the Office of the Executive Vice President and Provost through the Minority Recruitment and Retention Fund. Small grant awards will be made to projects that promote a campus culture that champions the successful recruitment and retention of an increasingly diverse academic workforce and student body on the NMSU Las Cruces campus. The proposal submission deadline is January 15. The review committee includes 3 members of the Diversity Council and 1 representative each from the Faculty Senate, our Employee Council, and NMSU. This committee will make recommendations for funding to the provost. In addition, this semester, I've asked our provost to require our deans to tell us how their colleges are implementing strategies shown nationally to lead to success in recruiting and retaining a diverse faculty. Last summer, in our leadership retreat with the regents, We introduced a national report outlining those strategies that are used by universities that have done better than average, yes, in recruiting and retaining a diverse faculty. Of course, we have none better than average, but as a minority-serving institution, we need to do even better. As a reality check against the particular needs at NMSU, I am announcing today that I shall ask the University Diversity Council to review the plans submitted to our provost by our colleges and offer helpful comments as to their potential for success. I hope the council will respond positively to this request. We also took a stand in August to make graduation goal one for our students and ensure demonstrable increases in student persistence in our degrees and our certificate programs. In public forums, I've called this the duh goal. And that's because, as you know, graduation has always been, for you and for all of us, our primary aim. Yet both of our research universities, UNM and we, are failing to meet national averages for 4-year and 6-year graduation rates as achieved by research universities. We have to do better, and we know a few things about what will make a difference. Connection to a campus is key, even when students have many obligations at home and at work. Research has shown that students who work on campus are better connected to the university. We'll look for ways to increase those opportunities. With the leadership of Chief of Staff Ben Woods and Alumni Coordinator Deb Widger, we are creating an honor program for local employers who pledge to be student-friendly by not only employing our students, but also initiating schedules and mentoring programs that support their progress in school. Another activity that has been shown to positively correlate with increased student persistence is a mid-semester check program. For fall 2011, our Office of Student Success and our Provost are launching such a program at NMSU. This will include several interventions to help students persist. For instance, we are developing a more robust early alert system. The new program will enhance our Quick Connect program and make it even easier for faculty to signal to our Student Success Division that our students are struggling with their academic work and they need to be contacted. This spring, we will also increase opportunities for students to make mid-semester corrections to improve their learning. So please be sure to watch for these developments. Also in spring, our faculty will be reminded to use the mid-semester grading function available in Banner. I personally encourage all of our faculty to use this function. Early feedback gives students critical help to assess their performance and to develop a plan for successfully completing their courses. NMSU has also accomplished much in the last few months to focus our international reach to prepare students for a global society and expand our land-grant and teaching mission, our third strategy for success. International Border Programs organized a task force on Mexico that drew over 90 faculty and staff participants. From that event, 4 groups are currently working to develop priorities for Mexico. Key areas they are exploring include health, urban youth development, law enforcement training, and economic development. A meeting has also been arranged with the USAID Director for Mexico City to explore ways we can partner with USAID to accomplish work in these arenas. The International Relations Institute, which now reports to the International and Border Programs, has also organized 2 successful conferences focusing on immigration issues. With a grant of $75,000, the Institute continues to work on the topic of immigration through a task force of community, religious, and academic leaders whose goal is to educate, advocate, and inform the public on all aspects of the immigration debate. Recently, NMSU joined 80 institutions nationally to offer the Peace Corps Master's International degree, which combines a year of graduate study at NMSU, a Peace Corps placement of 2 years, and a completion of graduate study back here on campus. Our current Peace Corps partnerships involve the Colleges of Health and Social Services and Agricultural, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences, also known as ACES. After a successful national search, Christian Chervanok has been permanently appointed to oversee our Study Abroad office. And we are pleased to announce today that the third annual Model UN dinner will be held on February 17th with Ambassador Edward Perkins as the guest speaker. Perkins was not only our U.S. ambassador to the UN, but also to Liberia, Australia, and South Africa. As a fourth strategy to success, we've pledged to be the economic engine for New Mexico through linking and strengthening our research and economic development partnerships. Increasingly, our states are expecting economic development to be a key priority for state-supported research universities, and New Mexico is no exception. This expectation was strongly supported in the Legislative Finance Committee's staff audit of NMSU and UNM, and it marks a priority concern of APLU as well. We will inaugurate this January a faculty-led Research and Economic Development Committee whose charge is to identify strategies to connect our research and economic development activities and enhance those research areas that have promise to develop industries in our state. Direct support for faculty research is key to this success. To garner that support, we both need to inform our publics about the economic impact of our research and to streamline our research funding processes. With the launch of the first research rally in December to honor NMSU faculty and staff for their $2.3 million grant funded by the Air Force to study better ways to grow algae and refine its oil into jet fuel, we began a tradition of engaging our campus community and the press in celebrating faculty research. We will have additional research rallies this semester. To help us streamline the research funding process, the Ad Hoc Research Support Committee, led by Vice President Vimal Chaitanya and URC Chair Phil DeLeon, has nailed down a dozen or so specific areas for improvement. With help from our Office of Business and Finance, we are implementing their suggestions one by one, and we're going to update you regularly on our progress. No state university today can expect state support without proving that it is both effective and efficient. Nearly every major institution has efforts underway to save money, streamline processes, and provide better services to our constituencies. NMSU is no exception. Our fifth strategy for success is to achieve maximum effectiveness and efficiency in serving our communities and constituencies across our university system. We can be proud of several efforts underway. Since implementation of our vehicle reduction plan last year, we've reduced our vehicle fleet by 16%, creating an estimated cost savings of $270,000. We hope to save another $450,000 over the next 2 years. We've reduced energy costs through implementing energy conservation measures. A new energy control system in one NMSU building gave us a full cost recovery of our $160,000 investment in under 1 year. A relamping project in another building will save $125,000 within a decade. Changed purchasing procedures have saved us about $250,000 in advertising costs since 2008. And I am particularly proud of the work of our faculty, staff, students, and business leaders on our NMSU Effectiveness and Efficiency Committee. They completed their first of 2 annual reports at the end of December. The report is chock full of ideas for reducing costs and improving service through eliminating redundancy, changing student book purchasing procedures, standardizing our procedures for recording expenses, garnering utility savings, and changing academic procedures. The committee will discuss their report with our administrative team this January, and we'll be bringing their ideas to all of our faculty and staff, shortly. I'm, of course, equally proud of the efforts that were made by our department chairs, our deans, and the University Budget Committee to manage our budget reductions last year. Their efforts put the bulk of our reductions on the administrative side of the house, preserving core programs for our students and our faculty. This work, which included funds set aside for reallocation, will serve us well as we face the budget reductions that are now projected for 2012. And finally, the position management plan, which we implemented last fall, resulted in an annual savings of $1 million and allowed us to implement the new staff classification system. The new system ensures that our staff classifications meet national standards for minimum pay and pay ranges. Implementation of this program fulfills one of the promises that I made to you at our last faculty forum as well. Money unfortunately drives much of what we do, and hence we have to be constantly mindful of ways to increase revenue. Our sixth strategy for success is to substantially increase our university endowment and our alumni giving. As you know, NMSU completed the university's first comprehensive campaign this December, exceeding our goal of $225 million in cash and gifts by more than $30 million. We have many to thank for this: faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends who donated, the development staff who worked so very hard, and Nick Franklin, our interim vice president for advancement, who returns to retirement this week after 2.5 years of service to New Mexico State University. But we have much work yet to do. We need to improve our alumni giving rates. We also must redirect the efforts of our development staff to more properly focus on fundraising, while at the same time building efforts to raise funds through a stronger alumni association. These are going to be challenges for our new Vice President for Advancement, Dennis Prescott, who joins us this week. Dennis, would you please stand and give him a welcome? Thank you. And for all of us together, as we reach out to the alumni who've been served by NMSU's talented staff and by the outstanding research and scholarly work of our faculty. I want to end these remarks today with a pointed discussion of our final strategy for success that I proposed last August, and that was to build a culture of pride in partnership and achievement in our classrooms, studios, and laboratories, and on our campuses, on our courts, and our fields. Today's recognition of our outstanding faculty is just one example of ways that we take pride in our institution, and we let that pride in achievement shape what we do in the future. Ambition to be the best goes a long way toward getting us there, and seeing what the very best do in achievement and recognizing their excellence gives us specific benchmarks for our own goal setting. Our employee council has offered help in this endeavor to recognize the best. This semester, the council will establish a new employee recognition award honoring the best among our peers nationally. Discussions about the selection process are underway. To complement that effort, we will ask the council to assist us in selecting an employee to honor at each Regents meeting with a Kudos Award. This will be designed to recognize those who have gone above and beyond expectations here to help the university move forward. It's important, too, to recognize the achievements of our students. Last fall, we started the tradition of giving our freshmen a challenge coin, reminding them to keep their eyes on the goal of graduating, and of course, in our instance, ideally within 4 years. We're going to continue that tradition with the freshmen entering NMSU this January at their orientation meeting this afternoon. The holiday card that I issued to all of you in December featured the coin, and some students who received the card contacted me to tell me their stories about why they deserved a challenge coin for their persistence toward graduation. One of these students was a graduate student. Another was from one of our community college campuses. I mention this to emphasize how important recognition, encouragement, and a sense of belonging is to our students' success. Research confirms that students who feel connected to the university through academic clubs, through student government, student service, and school spirit too, have a greater chance for success. Pride in the achievement of fellow students is part of the package too. We have so much to be proud of. Students who've succeeded year after year in winning, for instance, national recognition for their work on Model UN teams. Those who've excelled in theater, art, and music competitions. And our student inventors in engineering and student leaders in agriculture, just to mention a few. Our student athletes perhaps receive the most visible recognition for their triumphs, and yes, for their losses. And through our athletic programs, our public gets a sense, too, of how we function as a community. Attending athletic events is another way our students participate, and again, those who participate persist. Thinking about all the ways we build spirit as a community, the kind of spirit that builds pride and builds excellence, I've decided to establish an Aggie Spirit Game Day Experience Task Force. Initially, their efforts will center on ways to build community around our athletic events. Athletics Director Dr. McKinley Boston, who's here today, has graciously agreed to chair the group, which will have appointees from every sector of the university, including our student body. Our object is to find ways to bring us together, to support not only our student athletes, but the whole of our university community, from faculty to staff, from students to alumni, from business community advocates to our legislative leaders. And if you have ideas for this effort, I want to hear them, and I hope that you'll become involved. Building spirit is tough, but doing so is perhaps no more important than now, when hopes of bouncing back from our recession are only slowly building, and tensions among those who disagree are mounting, sometimes to violence. With the budget reductions implemented last fall, our faculty, staff, and administrators did a great job of preparing us for tougher times. We have now received from the Legislative Finance Committee and our new governor the first estimates of the impact of revenue shortfalls on our higher education budget. The news isn't great. We're going to make every effort in Santa Fe during this 60-day session of the New Mexico Legislature to work hard for the strongest monetary support for our programs at NMSU. I will give you frequent updates as we enter the session. Our top legislative priority is for the legislature to treat higher education fairly, not try to solve the problems of revenue shortfall on the backs of college students. We will ask them to eliminate the tuition credit, which unfairly taxes the tuition revenue from students who attend NMSU and UNM. We will ask them to preserve our research and public service projects, especially our mandated programs of 4-H, cooperative extension, and our agricultural research centers. We will ask them to preserve the constitutional autonomous authority of our universities, encouraging us to use that authority to build excellence through managing our own budgets. I will also remind our legislature of the key assets that we have to build excellence, the key asset that they are our partners in building, and that asset is our faculty. The best of our faculty can compete with the best in the world, and we need to begin compensating that achievement. I will call this spring for us to adopt a compensation package for our faculty that rewards achievement, even in times when revenues are declining. This will require sacrifice from us too, but that sacrifice is worth it to ensure that our faculty's contributions are substantively rewarded. And that, my colleagues, is the perfect segue to the remainder of our convocation today, a recognition of our faculty's strength and our faculty's successes. I want to thank you for your attention, for your continued support. Go Aggies.